What is up, everyone? Matty the Nerf Guy here, or MTNG, the best dressed Nerfer around, coming to you live out of the Matty Suite, aka my living room. So, what do I have for you today? Also, if you're not watching this on my channel, you're watching this on the Thunderdome Network. So, welcome to a new episode of what I call the first of a new series called How to Make Impractical Blasters Practical. Use of HVZ tactics and regular Nerf war tactics. So, to start off, I have the X-Shot, I think it's Hawkeye, I want to call it the Hawkeye. It's a breech loading blaster. You've seen it a billion times. I'm not going to go over it to you. If you're in the Nerf community, you've seen it. And all this is Zuru, by the way. I got the Zuru Triad knockoff. I even had the Zuru Micro. And I've chosen these blasters for one reason. These two are more practical, alright? But seeing the fact that Zuru has been coming out with more and more powerful blasters than their previous predecessors. Yes, they are reskins. They're recolors. But unlike Nerf, who only does renames and reskins or recycled products, it doesn't boost their performance. These things hit a lot harder than their yellow-skinned predecessors. The yellow shell, I say skin because why? Everything's a Jolt reskin, but the yellow shelled or skinned predecessors. So, how to make the Hawkeye useful in a Nerf war? The best way I can think of to do this thing here is no point in taking the sight off because in my mind it just looks badass, but also may help you to aim. If you level a cheek, or like me, the best way to do it, you're going to want to keep it primed, obviously, alright? Now, the best way I have found in carrying this is I found just carrying only a simple battle belt. I got this belt from my military surplus store. It's very basic. Now, I have right there my two blasters. Of the two, they're in the pouches that hold magazines because it's great for that. Now, when it comes to fielding this, how would you field it? The best way I can think of is, let's just say, this part of the screen right here is cover, alright? If you're in a Nerf war, let's say this part of the screen I'm going off right now is, let's say it's the wall. You're providing cover. You'd be a scout. Ha, zombies! Oh! Just kidding. Come on, it's Nerf. If you're not laughing right now, then you sure are doing a horrible job of being a Nerfer. I'm just kidding. If you ain't laughing, I must not have done my job. The thing is a terrible air seal. I love it to death, though. Anyway, how do you make this thing tactical? Well, first for starters, carry a dump pouch, a very light dump pouch or large dump pouch, depending on a Nerf war or HVZ. Break it down, okay? This thing holds 4 darts plus 1, that's 5. This holds 2, holds 3, this thing only holds 1. This is your last ditch one. Only mods this one are a little bit of Teflon tape behind the O-ring and some grease. Other than that, it's all good. I have about 50 to 60 darts in this pouch. My Gorilla Tactical dump pouch that I got from Gorilla Tactical back in 2016. I was the first one to do the review on it. So the best way to do it is go from cover to cover, just picking off your targets. That's really the only way to do it. Is go from cover to cover, you're extremely light, you're able to run. That's just it. if you have a pouch lighter than this for a regular Nerf war, by all means carry it. Maybe even the original Nerf pouch. Maybe even the original Nerf pouch. You know, like white camo or the blue camo, whichever one it is, use it. So, I could say, now, if you're an HVZ, this may not always be the best option, because it is finicky. Let's see here. I'm going to use this timer here that I have on my camera. Priming takes 1 second. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 seconds between shots. The chance of you being able to reload like that extremely quick without damaging one of your darts or anything like that is extremely slim. You may be able to get 1 or 2 shots from a zombie. The best way I can figure out using it in HVZ is as kind of like what Jengular did. Jengular, what he did was, he ran a squad called Rescue Squad. They went around looking for dossiers, trying to capture objectives, getting people safely back to a respawn point or the main group that's taking on the objective and zombies, and just, helping people. This may be good for, like, a search and rescue, a skirmisher, or a scout loadout. Now, I personally love the scout loadout. My thing at my first in-war game was just a belt full of stuff. It was effective. I was able to tag the zombies out, but it was kind of heavy. It kept me from running. So, later on this year, I plan on only having maybe some sort of a pistol with rival ammo, and maybe a couple of other blasters for loners, and that's about it. This one, however... Sorry guys, 1 second here. Alright. The only other thing, though, is this may be good for a skirmisher loadout. Now, the only way to run this, though, is if you're in a tight space, I'd probably recommend switching to one of your pistols. Now, this one is extremely good for running on the fly. You'd probably need something like another pouch or something to put this in, or I would probably recommend using a tie down or something, and have it slung. Because the reason being is, if you can have it slung behind your back or something, to just able to pull it around, that's going to be more effective and help you out in the long run. Have it tucked away when you need to switch to your pistol. But for this thing, I'd probably recommend, if you're an HVZ, using this as your primary blaster, or this as your primary blaster. This thing's got a very comfy handle. Shoots really hard. The only downside about this is I wish they would have done this is it's not got smart AR technology. Meaning, look at this. You have to manually prime it to the next chamber. The only best way to do this is, if you really want to don't have to do that, is use these two as storage, constantly fire, and then constantly top off. But if you're on the best bit, though, is using, but if I want to do that, I would just use another micro shot. I have 3 of these now. 1 modded, 2 aren't. Well, this one's modded, the other 2 are in the process of being modded. These 2 will be my loners. Now, when I use loners, I'm going to be loading the smallest one I have out. Because why? They go, but that sucks. Pull it back and fire. Holy crap, that's powerful in such a tiny little package. Also, if I want to, guess what? I just tuck that away in a pocket. I can pull it out, no freaking problem, and guess what? It goes in a pocket. Now I can just carry, I can go extremely hands-free if I want to, and just carry go cargo shorts, and carry darts in my other pockets. That's all I really have to do. In my mind, if you're going to run the most impractical loadout ever, I just made it practical, at least in my opinion. But when you do something like Impractical, make sure it has a purpose and it's designed specifically for that purpose, because you're going to find it difficult to use this during all-around use during games, such as when you're in a crowd and zombies are coming at you. If you use this, you need to be sure that you are using this for a scout, looking for dossiers, Or let's just say you're a zombie, even as I would call it, the zombie hunter loadout. Meaning, you're not with the main group, you're more focused on capturing objectives and all that with the main group. Let's say or even, I would say even a mercenary loadout, which is where you're more focused on guarding. I would use this thing as more of a... I will use this thing more of this as like a mercenary loadout. Something where it's extremely light and more effective. Each person has a role that they play in HVZ. Every squad has a role. Those roles are equally important. Scouts are extremely important because why? They can provide the information saying, hey, we don't need to go that way, there's a bunch of zombies. Or heck, they can even message you on Facebook, or the most effective way is not message you on Facebook, it's to get on a walkie-talkie. TK1138, Drac and all them had walkie-talkies, I think, and Snack Squad in that town, so yeah. I know this is probably a really long video, but in my mind, it's pretty good to make long videos, because why? This breaks down how to use an ineffective blaster in HVZ. The next one is a mega loadout. I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching, MTNG out.